Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. On this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. We have a question here from YouTube user NattyK11, NATIK11, KAY. So, I don't know. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And the question goes a little like this: why would an employment attorney drop my case? My firm dropped me when my old company stated they weren't interested in settling. Now I'm forced to do this on my own and write my own rebuttal statement to the New York State Division of Human Rights. Okay, so real quick, before we answer your question, let's just note that you're not barred from getting new representation. You could go hire another attorney. This is not me trying to get you to hire us at all. I'm just saying, just because one firm dropped you doesn't mean you couldn't hire another firm. So you're not on your own necessarily. But let's answer your question. Why would an employment attorney drop your case? Okay. A couple reasons. We're going to go through a real quick little story for the first one. My name is Vince. Let's assume there's a gentleman named Vance. Vance is evil Vince. My evil counterpart. My bizarro counterpart. Although, certainly there might be a few people in the world who think that Bizarro Vince would be the good Vince. Bizarro Vance, I should say. So, anyways, one thing people often ask me is, Vince, when I was younger, more, not so much anymore, people would say, Vince, did you inherit this firm from your father? To which I would respond, well, first off, that's a little sexist. Second off, my father fell off a roof and passed away after giving me 8 half-siblings. He did not own a law firm. He did not operate a law firm. I'm not making fun of the fella. I didn't know him too well. I'm just saying he wasn't bequeathing me an employment litigation firm. Vance, however, evil Vince, Vance, his daddy, yeah, you know what? Evil Vance's mother bequeathed him an employment litigation firm and paid all of his tuition through undergrad and law school. And boy, do I hate Vance. But you know what? Vance doesn't like working too hard. Vance likes easy money because everything in Vance's life came pretty easy. So when he takes a case, sometimes, maybe more often than not, he wants to just flip it for an easy settlement. And Vance can do basic math because he went to very good private schools. So Vance thinks to himself, if I settle this case for 20 grand in 2 hours, I can pocket $4,000 an hour. But when opposing counsel comes to Vance and says, there's not going to be any money here, we're not going to settle this, you're going to have to try this case, Vance, because he's evil and lazy, leaves his client high and dry. And there we have the story of how a case flipper is born. That is a case flipper. That is someone who just wants easy settlements, and that is a pervasive issue in our field. Now, there are great firms in this field that will do right by your case. Don't get me wrong. But there are many case flippers. So you got to keep out kind of an eye for them to make sure they don't get a hold of your case and then chop its value up for quick settlement. Further, you got to be aware, if there is no settlement in your case, they might just drop it. Ugly. It's evil Vance. It's not me. Just to be clear, it's evil Vance. That is not what I do. That is certainly not what my firm does. This firm is meant to maximize the value of cases. But I gave you the story of evil Vance as a cautionary tale, and that is first and foremost what might be going on in your situation. Now, there's other things. The firm who's representing you could have found out something horrible about the situation or about you, or just that the fact pattern you gave them isn't true, or that your case doesn't meet the fundamental elements of a claim in this field to be viable. They could have found out that there was some other issue, like the whole company is going bankrupt, and there's just no money. There's no money to collect. There's $0 to collect. So they could win you $10 million and collect $0, right? Like, no money. There's no money to be had. You can see there's a lot of issues that could crop up that might make it hard for a firm to go forward. Now, I would say to you, and I feel this very strenuously, I would say to you they owe you a conversation about that, right? If there's a problem with your case, if they feel you lied, or if they feel that one of the elements is missing, or there's some key piece of information they weren't aware of that has introduced tremendous risk into your case, or there's an issue collecting, right? They're not going to be able to collect the money they want to win for you. They should have that conversation with you. You should not be on the internet posting a comment to Mediocre Vince and Evil Vance over here. Evil Vance over here. I don't know which shoulder Evil Vance is on. But you shouldn't have to post a comment on the internet to try to figure out why that firm dropped your case. Because if they're dropping your case, they owe you the conversation, right? I'll tell you right up. Hey, yeah, I am going to have to drop your case. Why? Well, you said these 7 things in intake. Turns out 3 of them are true. That's why. No harm, no foul. I don't hate you. But I think you can see why I might be done with you, right? You're asking me to spend tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, and hundreds of attorney hours in service of a liar, right? I mean, that's part of it. And again, Natty K, I am not saying this is you at all. There is zero part of me that thinks you're a liar. I suspect you were taken advantage of by a case flipper. That's the simplest answer here. I'm just going through the other possibilities, right? It could also be, listen, wild things happen. Firms lose their associates. Excuse me. From time to time, a firm might have, 3 associates going, whatever it is, and 2 just up and leave. There's a big fight, and one of the partners takes 3 of the associates, 2 of the associates, whatever it is. Well, how's that firm gonna? They got to hire, right? But in the meantime, they might not be able to do right by all those cases, so they got to figure out what they're gonna do. Do they hire contractors? They might not be able to afford to. That's kind of scary. Do they drop cases? Well, that really hurts people, as we can see it has hurt Natty K, who is now pro se in the State Division of Human Rights, fighting presumably some form of discrimination in the workplace or sexual harassment case, right? So, listen, is it necessarily the firm's fault when that happens and their workforce walks away? I mean, maybe they weren't paying enough, but also they have a duty to you to do what's right for you, and there's some discussion that they need to do something for you to make that right. Now, they might think that thing they need to do for you is to cut your case loose and give up their lien so you can find alternate representation. I would argue that would generally not be the best option if it can be avoided. But it's possible that's what they're doing, right? And in that same vein, listen, sometimes attorneys die, right? You can have attorneys, peak of health. Everything's going great. They're walking along, working their cases, eating their Cheerios, having their coffee, and then, bam! That attorney never saw what hit her or him. It's over. And all their case files will sit unworked. And that firm's got to do something about it. And they might not be able to find the people they want to replace that person because there's not enough employment attorneys in the world. At least there's not enough good ones, right? So, Natty K, I don't know what happened, obviously. Got some concerns. You might have run into a case flipper. They might have saw there's not going to be any easy money. They might have gone running for the hills. That's possible. It kind of feels like that. But I want to list some other possibilities as well. Listen, I don't know. But those are, off the top of my head, the quickest answers. And potentially the most likely answers, some things that could have happened. Anyways, if this video is helpful, like, subscribe, comment down below. Share our channel so that it may grow. Thank you. Take care.